All right, so check. All right. And welcome to Overtime, brought to you by KingsCast at www.kingscast.net. I'm Keith Kornelek.
I'm Chris Kalzewski.
Back from the rain, it's KingsCast once again, Kings fans.
Yeah, that's right. We're back here to talk about the Calgary game, talk about the Colorado game, talk about the gem of a game tonight at Staples Center against the Ottawa Senators. And we're also going to talk about things more exciting to watch than the LA Kings.
So here we go, episode 141, geniusly entitled, Let's Go Kings! All right, Chris, so Calgary Flames back in town at the Stape. Kings having a lot of trouble winning at home, at least on a consistent basis. And coming into that game, Kings are 9-1-5 under Daryl Sutter. Now, if you're just taking wins and losses, that's 9-6. I know he had the extra points, but, point-wise, we're still not doing a lot better than we were under Terry Murray. Obviously, the Kings have picked up their game a little bit, but Sutter against Sutter again, and, the Kings come in and lose in the shootout, another low-scoring game.
Yeah, it was another one of those games, like, you expect a little more oomph from them. They had scored, they had that one stretch of 3 games where they scored 13 goals. We're getting spoiled. We're thinking, the Terry Murray era is completely over. The Kings have gotten over that. Now they're going to start scoring again. And then this game comes along, and, you score 1 goal. But it was a little bit frustrating. But, you go to the shootout again. I think we were texting each other. It was like, oh, God, again?
I know.
And I think all Kings fans kind of feel like this way, too. I mean, it's just like these 1-goal games going into extra periods is just annoying. It's not going to work for a team that's trying to make the playoffs. I mean, it's frustrating right now because you have a really tight Western Conference. You have other teams who are actually winning games, getting the 2 points, and they really haven't moved up at all. It's still very close. I mean, the Kings have a lot to do to really get into a solid playoff position.
You talk about heart, and you talk about, the people that Dean Lombardi has assembled, the winners, that kind of thing. And coming into that Colorado game, Chris, Kings are in 7th, Colorado's in 8th, and, the Kings still a couple of points ahead of Colorado. So if they lost the game, we're still in 7th. That said, we did lose the game in regulation, the second regulation game lost under Sutter, which isn't too bad. But, where is the heart when the game is on the line? You know what I mean? Where are those lunch pail guys who are ready to dig in and, big heart in the corners and that kind of thing? It really wasn't there. And, I'm starting to question, the Kings can't score, but can they start, reaching into themselves and really pulling out a win? I don't know.
Yeah, when you're at home, you look at a team like the Detroit Red Wings that has lost, at the time, 2 games at home. 2 games.
Say that again.
Detroit Red Wings had lost 2 games at home.
Crazy.
This is what elite teams do. They win their games at home, and the Kings have played a ton of home games. They have some pretty wicked road trips coming up in the coming months. So it's like you really have to get these wins, and I know that the Kings traditionally, in the last year anyway, had some luck on the road. But another concerning fact was that that they've been giving up a lot of power play goals to other teams. They had that killer stretch where they were, 93% on the PK?
That was ridiculous.
Gave that up, though. Gave up a power play goal against Calgary. Jerome McGinley had the goal. And then against Colorado, Landeskog with the game winner, a game sealer, really. Kopitar started the scoring, but he was the only guy who scored this goal.
Los Angeles, California, Kings, Senators, shootouts. This is American Idol. Coming into tonight against the Ottawa Senators. Now, this is a game, we're going into the All-Star break, and Daryl Sutter today said to Rich Hammond, our goal coming in was that we would go into the All-Star break in a playoff spot.
Okay.
Which to me was like, oh, okay. Well, we're the Kings. We should be in a playoff spot. That said, we were and we are. So I guess that's good. But, the Ottawa Senators, a high-scoring team, exceeding expectations, probably going to make the playoffs. And everybody thought they were going to have a lottery pick. And, the first period, the Kings did have 1 goal by Willie Mitchell, which was, most excellent. But I kind of felt like that was going to be it. It was, maybe going to lose in a shootout again.
Yeah, I mean, Willie Mitchell is not the guy that we can count on to be scoring the goals. It's like
But he is an awesome guy.
No, he is a great guy.
That's a great
we
story.
love him. He's one of our favorite. But you look at this team who has 60 points, the Ottawa Senators, and you think, 1 goal is just not going to do it. And it really did feel like it was going to be a 1-goal game. The Kings were going to lose 2-1 in the shootout again. But they're a big-time team, and what are you going to do?
What's up, Kings fans? It was 1-0 after the first period. An amazing game. Actually, Drew Doughty scored with 1 second into the next period. Doesn't count. I'm still going to say 2-1 shootout.
Till the second period, when the Los Angeles Kings decided to reemerge and say, hey, we're still here. Kyle Clifford had a goal, assisted by Colin Fraser from the Ryan Smith trade, which we totally won because of that. And then we get a rare goal on a penalty shot from Trevor Lewis. Now, Chris, Trevor Lewis not only scored on the penalty shot, but had a amazing goal. I mean, he deked Craig Anderson out of his shorts.
Yeah, and Craig Anderson is a good goalie. It wasn't like it was some fluke goal. It was an awesome move. It was like Kopitar-esque.
Yeah.
When we saw that it was going to be Lewis on the penalty kill, we're like on the penalty shot. We were like,
we downed our drinks. I think we chugged them.
I think we're like, oh, cool. Well, at least we get to watch a little fun, maybe. But he actually scored the goal, and it was amazing. Took the momentum, and the Kings' record when they are going into the third with the lead is pretty damn good. So it was looking like it was a pretty awesome game at that point.
Yeah, so, I think the one thing we did forget to mention is Kyle Clifford had a fight in the first period.
Oh, yes.
Assisted on the Willie Mitchell goal, and then had a Gordie Howe hat trick.
Yeah.
Kyle Clifford playing on the fourth line, the hero of our first line in the last playoff series against San Jose, which we, of course, lost. What a second period. Kyle Clifford with the Gordie Howe hat trick. Trevor Lewis, penalty shot. Amazing. It's like we're in some sort of parallel universe where the Kings are actually good. It's 4-0 Kings. We're closing it out. 4-3 Kings.
And, of course, Jack Johnson with the final goal, which is awesome because the guy was, of course, on the ice for the Ottawa's one goal. It happens.
It's Jack Johnson. What do you expect? So, the Kings win 4-1. It was a rare treat for us. We were sitting in the premier seats tonight with people that really didn't know hockey. In fact,
yeah, let's talk about the premier level really quick. You sit in premier. It's nice to sit there. Okay, we go to our seats. And we can sit in our seats. Okay, the view was not bad. It's a little diagonal. It was the Kings shoot twice side, so it wasn't too bad. But we noticed one thing that was glaring, and that there was no friggin' cup holders. In the premier level, really? I thought we were at the Honda Puddle or something.
At the urinals, but they didn't have cup holders in the seats.
Yeah, and not to mention there was a huge plate of glass like between Keith and the game.
I know. I'm still seeing kind of double here.
Yeah.
It was an interesting experience. I think the guy, Chris pointed it out, the guys behind us were talking about how the penalty kill or the power play was the worst in the league. And it was not. It's 22nd.
Not the worst.
No,
so learn your stuff.
That said, we are worst in the league.
Yeah, but so I love the win. It was awesome. But of course, the Kings would get all fired up right before they take a 9-day break.
Yeah.
During the All-Star break, of course, most of the Kings are going to be sitting at home watching the game on TV, relaxing with the wives, things like that. But hoping they can bring whatever momentum they got tonight into the second half of the season, because there's a long way to go.
Don't count on it.
What up, Kings fans? So Kings pulled away with the win against the Ottawa Senators. Awesome game. I was actually very privileged to be here. It was incredible. Remember. So I'm going to take this one on the All-Star break. See you next time after the Columbus game.
So today, the Boston Bruins, Stanley Cup champions, visited the White House. President Obama was on hand to, pay them appropriate homage. And one key person wasn't there. The Conn Smythe winner, Tim Thomas, staunch Republican, no judgment there, decided not to come because of politics. Now, Chris, I have a huge problem with this. I don't have a problem with Republicans whatsoever. You're totally entitled to your political opinion.
Yep.
But protesting, coming to the White House when really it should be about the team, the Stanley Cup, the journey that you went through as a hockey team, to me is ridiculous and stupid.
You know what? It's sort of a long-time tradition. The winning team of any sport goes to the White House, they meet the president, they give him a jersey of some kind, and that's what it is. It is what it is. It's not a place to throw out your political stance or anything like that. So I was a little disappointed with Thomas. That is his choice. Not saying anything against being a Republican or anything, but, I thought he should have been there. Obviously a huge part of the team, huge part of the winning team. So, that's his choice, but I think it's a little ridiculous.
So, how many Democrats were members of Stanley Cup winning championships in the 8 years that Bush was in the White House? How many of them stood him up? I'm assuming none, or probably not a lot. If they did, then screw them too. So, Kings fans, your question of the day, was Tim Thomas right or wrong? Leave your comments, as always, downstairs.
All right, Kings fans, so it has been sort of a weird season. The Kings have been low on goals, bottom of the league in scoring. Looks like they're going to be there all year long. So we actually want to present a segment, despite the huge win tonight, of things more exciting to watch than the LA Kings right now.
Painting my nails.
A Jack Johnson interview.
Painting his nails.
The Zamboni clearing the ice before a shootout.
Reruns of The Real Housewives of Scranton.
The 6th and final season of Lost.
The Twitter feed of Heavy D, and he's dead.
A 5-year-old reading Atlas Shrugged aloud.
Shit LA Kings fans don't say, a KingsCast digital short.
And finally, highlight reels from any of the other 29 teams. So that's right, Kings fans. We're going on a little break for a little while. We'll be back after the Columbus Blue Jackets game on February 1st. Taking a little break. Might come out with a couple videos here and there, much like our last video, blank. Kings fans don't say.
So Kings fans, thank you very much for all your support. Don't forget to click the like button, favorite us if you're on YouTube, tweet us, Facebook like us. We appreciate the love. We really, really do. It helps the show. I'm Keith Cornelius.
I'm Chris Kalzewski.
Thank you for watching Overtime by KingsCast.